Well, hi there. How have you been? We are in May already, and I'm delighted to bring you a range of new podcast episodes this month and also some fabulous guest speakers as well on my podcast. I hope you've been keeping really well. We have had a lovely time together with my mum and my auntie from the UK, her sister, visiting Australia for the past month. So we've been to Sydney together. They've stayed with us in Orange for a while, which was great. And then we all headed down the road to Melbourne via Echuca for one night, where we took a ride on the paddle steamers and played mini golf after dinner and other fun things. So, on reflection of this time away, time with family, time in a different place, coming back home, getting back into school, Anzac Day and dawn service, etc., etc., I wanted to share with you 5 mindset tools that I use every day. They're all quite different, but I find that collectively they all really help me stay balanced, help me stay grounded, and stay present with those around me, including myself. So the first one I'd like to start with is movement. So movement is great for our minds and our bodies. And my vote is that it doesn't have to be really hard. It doesn't have to be really effortful or painful for you. Think about what is a movement that you enjoy. So I'll share with you, while we were away, we did a lot of walking. So we were staying in a unit in pretty central Melbourne, and there was a park across the road. Now, in Orange, across the road means maybe one lane of traffic each way, a zebra crossing, over you go. In St Kilda Road, that meant a bike lane, a car lane, another 2 car lanes, 2 tram lanes, another 2 car lanes, and another bike lane. And my middle son was like, wow, Mom, I want to go back to Orange where it's not like 6 to 8 lanes of traffic to cross over just to get to the park. Anyhow, we made morning exercise one of our parts of the day. We had beautiful weather in Melbourne, and we also walked a lot, averaging about 12 Ks a day, which was more than I ever thought we would have done while we were there. I also like to do stretching, which I see as a form of movement as well. It's really good to be sort of moving your bones and your muscles around the fascia as well that we've got around our bodies, so that doesn't get really tight. So I like to do a stretching routine, particularly of an evening, sometimes in the morning as well. And sometimes I do yoga, and sometimes I jump on my high intensity trainer bike as well. So that's just a range of different sorts of movement that I love doing. And how could I forget? I love playing tennis, and I was back in the courts this week, playing a bit of social tennis and then having our group lesson on a Friday. Secondly, I want to talk about connection. So that's what's gone on a lot over this past month. I've sought out moments to have a chat with Mum while she's here. There's nothing quite like that face-to-face chat, when usually what we have is a chat over video or by phone. I find that connection with others is really nurturing and really helpful for my mindset. And really, as humans, we are tribe animals, we are social creatures, and it doesn't have to be connection all the time at all for those who might be more introverted out there, but finding people that you trust and people that you want to connect with is a mindset tool that I love to use. Thirdly, sleep. So we didn't do any international travel this time, and we didn't really actually have many late nights out. We went to the Melbourne Comedy Festival one night, which was an absolute hoot and not what I would choose to bring my kids to again for a second time, if that could be possible. But hey, it was very funny. So sleep is something that I always just look to keep regular for myself as well. So you might do shift work and that, but then how can you look to make sure you have the rest time, which is so important for our brain. Our brains have their own lymph system, the glymphatic system, that can only really work when we are actually sleeping. So that's clearing out of debris and things that need to be removed from the brain. So yeah, sleep is a vital health tool, but I also find it's so great for a mindset tool as well, feeling rested and getting up ready for the next day. Something else I love to do at the start of the day is journaling. So I have this little A5 book that I take around with me if we're traveling, if I'm going down to Sydney for the day or so. And that's usually a first thing in the morning. If I'm at home, I'll sit down with a coffee and write my thoughts out. So some people call this a thought dump, journaling, getting the cobwebs out of your brain. So it's an idea of getting the thoughts that you have about a certain situation, like what is on your mind. You can even invite yourself to answer that question in your journal. Or another question I often ask is, what am I making this mean when there's something sitting on my mind? And look underneath sort of why that is consuming my mental energy, and what can I learn about myself from a place of curiosity? How can I sort of understand why I keep on returning to that scenario that may have happened or that may be coming up in the future? So when I close my journal of a morning, I feel more clear-headed. I feel more connected to who I am in the morning. I feel just sort of a clarity about what to do next. And it's not a to-do list per se, doing my journaling in the morning, but sort of the murky waters have cleared to be see-through, and it's really clear on what I need to do. Certainly the top 3 things to do in the day. And then the 5th mindset tool I want to share is one that can overarch all those other 4 mindset tools that I've gone through. So they are movement, connection, sleep, and journaling. And the overarching approach that I would encourage you to consider is self-compassion. So we know that growing your self-compassion can be so beneficial for you as an individual, and also for interacting with those around you, whether that's at home or whether that's in the workplace. So I want to share with you that I bring self-compassion if maybe I have done less movement than I thought I was going to do. It's not a big drama. I'm not going to berate myself. I'm not going to get really upset with myself and, not feel great if I've done less movement than I anticipated I might have done that day. It's sort of looking at those expectations that we have for ourselves and being mindful of that, and really looking to communicate with yourself with kindness rather than judgment. So see how you can sprinkle that self-compassion into your everyday and see what that does in your relationship with yourself and your relationship with others around you. If you want to hear more of my podcast episodes where we do talk about self-compassion, I'd refer you to episode number 4, when Dr. Emily Amos was on that call, and episode 23, when Corinne Crabtree was on that call as well. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you for tuning in. If you found this useful, I'd be so grateful if you'd share this episode with somebody else who might want to hear of these 5 mindset tools that I use every day. Stay tuned, and I'll be back in your ears next week. Thanks for listening. Bye.